Hello and welcome to The Generational Gamer. Today we are going to be talking about Sword and Fairy 7, published by eastasiasoft. They sent me the code, so thank you very much. Even though this game is not retro, it appealed to me. I came across this game while I was looking at eastasiasoft's website, and it reminded me of The Witcher 3 and Neptunia vs. Senran Kagura. I really like both games. In fact, I've covered the Neptunia vs. Senran Kagura a few times now, and I'll leave the links for them in the description. As for The Witcher, I've played it predominantly on the Switch, although I do have it on the Xbox Series X as well. Anyway, that was the reason why this game appealed to me, but let's talk about this game itself. This game is very story-driven, which could be a bad thing if you really need to know what happened between 1 and 6. This is Sword and Fairy 7. Fortunately, the story is independent of the others, so we don't have to worry about that. But I had no preconceived notion about what this story would actually be because I'd never played the previous games. Now, in this video, all the recordings were done on a stock PS4 with an M Classic attached. Why was the M Classic attached? I have no idea. I just decided to do it. The game starts off with more of a hack and slash style, and instead of having the female lead that I showed at the very beginning of the game, you have a male lead. Now the two of them will meet up later, but I'm not going to go into that part of the story. I really do like the story so far. I'm not terribly far into the game. I'm far enough to be able to make a reasonable assessment about what it is, and so far I do like it. The story has kept me going. Now it is all subtitled. It sounds like they're talking in Mandarin, but I just read the English subtitles. Now this young lady helping her grandfather is your primary protagonist. She is quite the warrior in her own right, and she has that little bird thing. Now that actually can turn into this giant eagle, and that actually leads to how the story progresses. In fact, without giving too much away, let's take a look at that segment right now. So this appears to be an FMV, but I want to show some actual gameplay. So this is actually how the game begins. Like I said, you start with your male protagonist, and you can see that the graphics are pretty solid. One thing I have noticed with this game, and it's been pretty consistent, is at least on the PS4, it does have some hiccups. It has long load times, and it slows down occasionally. Another thing that's kind of minor, but it's just a nitpick that I have, is that the pickups are actually mapped to the X button, and when you try to pick something up, sometimes you jump. The positives, I'd say, are the graphics. I think they're very good. I really like the story, which I've already mentioned a few times now. And of course the orchestral soundtrack. I think the controls can be a little bit cumbersome, but if you played God of War on the PS3, they're similar. This one just has many more options. Speaking of load time, how about we take a quick look at that? No, this is not slowed down. This is natural. There's no audio here either. My guess is that this was set up more for the PS5, which shouldn't have this issue at all. But you know what? I'm not going to make you sit here and watch this thing load for the full minute or so that it takes. As I've said, the game has been a lot of fun for me. I do like the graphics. I could do without some of the load time, but overall, between the graphics, the audio, particularly the orchestral sound, I've had a lot of fun playing the game. The story has kept me wanting to play it some more. If you're interested in buying this game, you can either buy it digitally on the PSN store, or you can buy the physical copy on PlayAsia. The links will be in the description. Anyway, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, I think going forward I will play it on a stream, and have a good one.